Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the summary for the day of 1035 to 1036 for the 24th to 25th of December. So we're gonna start off the report from the Kursk front first, and then we go clockwise direction. So we have continued fighting reported in Kursk. We have some new locations being mentioned. So first we go to the western flank first. At the western flank, fighting is reported at Nikolaevo, Darino, Slavikovo, Lebedevka, Alexandria, Leonidovo, Nikolsky, as well as Viktorovka. So this pretty much is more or less the same situation. There's no change in this sector per se. Zooming out, over in the northern flank, we have fighting reported. So this one was mentioned already. Viktorovka, Leonidovo, Nikolsky, all this mentioned. In the northern flank, we have Nikolaevka. This coming from the Kolenkoe region. Novaya Sorokina. There's a geolocation of Ukrainian forces just off Lovka, which then invalidates some of the Russian claims, showing that the Ukrainians have a much more advanced position than the Russian claim was. There is geolocation of Ukrainian forces at Ruskoye Pereshnoye as well, but the Russians are attacking in this region as well. So that's all from the northern flank. So if I zoom in a bit here, previously there was Russian forces reported in the Novaya Sorokina region, Ukrainian forces, and they were actually geolocated here as well, in fact. So I think they have not able to hold the position. They have withdrawn. So Ukrainian forces geolocated here just shows that they have full control of the road. So including the settlement, which means that they have at least the control of the settlement all the way to the south of Orlovka. But Orlovka might be under Russian control. This one is uncertain. It is possible because the Ukrainians are at the age the Russians could potentially actually have the settlement. So anyway, we shall see how this continue to play out. We don't have the information right now. So there, interestingly, in the north of Sudzha, Russian Defense Ministry's report mentioned Kubatkin as well as Zaloshenka. I put this as fighting because I do not know if it's a shelling or a fighting report per se. They only say fire attack or fire damage on the Ukrainian forces. There's always a possibility that the Russians actually have a much more advanced position in this area here. It is always possible, and then they were attacking in this way. So but tentatively we do not know, and it could also be a storming operation. But how we possibly know? But Zaloshenka is a bit far, so Kubakin could potentially be fighting. But anyway, let's continue to just wait for more information. Tentatively, it's safer to just assume that these are just shelling reports. So that's all. Over in the southern flank, we have only fighting being reported at Chikatskaya Konopelka. Interestingly, Kurilovka was not mentioned. There is no mention of Melevoye as well. So it's uncertain what the hell is happening in the south. Suddenly went super quiet. So there's also no mention by the Russian Defense Ministry about the return of Guevo to the Russian control as well. So yeah, the whole place just went quiet. I'm not sure if it's the Ukrainian forces actually sent in reinforcement and pushed the Russians out to the eastern bank of the Svel River. So anyway, let's wait and see. Moving on away from the Kursk front, at the Kharkiv front, we have the usual fighting reported at Visoka Yaruha, Lipsy, as well as Voschansk. Nothing particularly special to report around here these past 2 days. Over in the Voreshna front, we still have fighting reported at Voreshna, but no details. So that's all. Into the Kupiansk front, we have fighting reported at Petropavlivka, Ivanivka, as well as towards Pischani. The Ukrainian forces geolocated in Kupiansk itself invalidated part of the needle that poked all the way into Kupiansk. So there's a long time coming, was waiting for this for a long time. And that's all from the Kupiansk front. The appearance of these two forces, these two attacks, these two attacks is interesting, but let's see whether it is sustained. Moving into the Pischani front, at the Pischani front, we have fighting reported at Kolesnikivka, Zarizove, as well as Lozova. So geolocation of Russian forces at Lozova actually confirms their advance in this sector. so validating Russian claims. And I did mention this in the frontline changes report. Over the Borova front, we have fighting reported at Zeleny High, Kopanki, as well as Novoyehorivka. Shelling is reported at Borova by the Russian Defense Ministry. So that's all. We move further south into the Sviatové front. We have fighting reported at Juzelyubivka and Makievka. This one is the usual, so nothing particularly special there. Over at the Liman front, we have fighting reported at Terny, Yampolivka, Torske, as well as Kremina. So that's all. Also strategically, it's more or less the same thing. And I just want to let you know the DPA Awards 2024, which is used to be called the Person of the Year Award, has finished the nomination thing. So around 12 hours ago. So the awards, you can now vote for the winners for the different categories. The link to the vote is in the pinned comment. So check it out. And we move on. Over at the Sivers front, we have fighting reported at Bilohorivka, Kharkivka, Serebryanka, as well as towards Sivers. Maybe not that direction, this direction. So yeah, but there's nothing particularly special. The chain of fighting around here usually don't make a lot of sense to me. So, but that's about it. No fighting reported at Bakhmut-Okanyamske. So that's that. Over in the Bakhmut front, we have fighting reported at Chasivya, Stupolsky, Priteshne, and Bilohora. So yeah, this one also nothing special per se. Very usual. It's not like nothing is happening, but it's just like, yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. Over at the Thorax front, at the Thorax region, we have fighting reported at Dilievka, Dashne, Druzhba, Thorax, as well as Shebenevka. But that's all. That's all we have. So let's move on. Moving into the Pokrov front, at the northern flank of the Pokrov front, we have fighting reported towards Zelene Pole as well as Vozdebzenka. So this is interesting, but if it's sustained, then it's way more interesting. But yeah, I don't think they would, because strategically they don't make sense for the Russians to push this direction anymore. Like no longer meaningful for now. So we go into the Milorad sector. At the Milorad sector, we have Minograd, Minograd. It's Minograd, but no, it's Minograd. Yeah. Fighting is reported at Marolibivka, Promin, as well as Lisievka. So that's all. Still pretty much stalemate-ish, or no stagnant. Over the Pokrov sector, this sector is of course the most activated one, because the Russians are making the main push in this direction. We're fighting reported at Dechanske, Zelene, Virozenia, towards Pokrov, Shevchenko, Pischane, towards Zvirove, Voskove, Solone, Novotroitsky, Novovasilivka, and towards Udashny. So you can see it's stupid number of this is basically a porcupine. Basically there's a spike in every single direction. So clearly the Russians are pushing in every single direction in this area here, this sector, as they are trying to establish a firm, firm position, or maybe it's like this. I'm not sure which line they are planning to go for. Most likely they are going for this line. So they are probably going for this line, and then they're going to cut off the highway. So which is why there's this push towards Udashny. So this is the current sector in this region. There's quite a number of frontline change in this sector. The Russians have appeared on the eastern part of Dachanske. This appearance for certain pro-Russian mapping, they say that this is the indication that the Russians have captured the entire of Dachanske. So I don't think that is necessarily the case. So but we just wait for more confirmation. Over at the Pischane region, the Russians have taken the tree line and taken more grounds over on the east and the west. They have taken all the grounds south of Kove, as well as moving in the direction of Solone already. So that is pretty significant. And in the south of Novovasilivka, the huge chunk of territory have been lost to the Russians. And as I have mentioned, predictably correct, that the Russians are doing this flanking operation northward towards Novovasilivka, and this actually is has appeared, and the Russians have taken the southern districts, southern street in Novovasilivka, as the Russians are already pushing in from the east. So this is going to be a two-pronged attack. The Ukrainians is going to bolt from this region here. So moving further south, this big chunk leads all the way to this NNU region, Novoyelizaveta and Novoelenivka Urukrenka region. So Russian forces have captured Novoelenivka, with Russians now entering into Novoyelizaveta from the east, and they have also taken strong positions north of Ukrenka and entering Ukrenka from the east as well. So this strategically or tactically, this is just very, very, very good for the Russians. The Ukrainians are now in a big chaos in this region here. The Russian advance is way too fast, meaning that the Ukrainian lines have broken. So they have to hold the line along the river. If not, then they're going to have yet another problem finding where to defend again. But I don't think they are able to hold the line at the river. So so prepare for more collapse. The Nadievka is also mentioned. The Russian Defense Ministry called it probably the previous name, Nadezdinka. So but Ukrainians just call it Nadievka. So this is the current situation. Yasinove was also mentioned, probably coming down the road from Novoelenivka region. Pushkine was mentioned with like a blanket term. But DPU basically we just mentioned it because of the frontline change in this sector. So that's all from this sector. I don't even sure what to call this sector. Yeah, because it is becoming its own thing at this moment. So over in the Zoria region, the Russian forces have been geolocated on the west of Zoria, also confirming Russian quick advance, taking the entire forest over that region and moving in the direction of Slovianka. So this is also pretty big. So the entire Pokrovsk front is just burning. So moving into the Kurakove sector, or Kurakove front, we have, let me move. Fighting reported, of course, in the Battle of Kurakove, Russian forces have been raising flag across the entire residential area. I believe that most of the residential area, if not all of Kurakove's residential area, is now under Russian control. So Ukrainian forces is geolocated in various locations along the main road of Kurakove. So but out of place, Russian forces is geolocated moving in the direction of Shevchenko. They secured the northern part of Stariterny as well, leaving this impossible salient south of Sonsevka. Fighting is reported at Sonsevka, towards Shevchenko, Petropavlivka, and in the direction of Andriivka. So of course, Slovianka was mentioned earlier. So and Russians are also pushing from Stariterny towards Dashny. So that is the current. You can see that this tide, this direction tide, this tide, just slaps down, on the Ukrainians, all in this direction. It's it's just bad. There's no good news. Everything is bad. Over in the Uspenivka region, south of Kurakove, the Russian forces have advanced in the southern flank of Kurakove, as they now playing out what I was saying, that the Russians are doing this flanking movement towards Dashny. So this is currently actually happening right now, with geolocations confirming the Russian advances. And fighting is still reported at Uspenivka. Looks like the Ukrainians decided to hold positions around here, which is pretty dumb. As you can see, the flanking movement is going to encircle them again. So they're going to get encircled again. Russian forces are fighting at Konstantinopolsk. Russian claims to have taken the entire Hihan region, and fighting is reported towards Yatarne. Russian forces captured Sukiali and Zelenivka, confirmation from the Ukrainian mapping Deep State UA, as they reappeared to show the capture by the Russian forces. So no wonder Sersky want them dead. Moving into the Constantinople region. So let's see whether I can what I can squeeze. Okay, I just squeeze like this. So as mentioned, Zelenivka and Sukiali is captured. The Russian forces basically have taken all of these impossible salients around between these two settlements. Fighting is reported towards Constantinople, Roslev, and Rozdone. So that's the current situation. There's not much news regarding this line. This line is a bit underreported. We do not know where the Russian advances are. So let's just wait. Maybe there's no advances. And into the Velika Novosilka sector. So over at the Velika Novosilka side, the eastern flank, the eastern side, fighting is reported at Novi Koma, Velika Novosilka, Blahodatne, Starizeve is now under Russian control, finally captured it. Geolocation of Russian forces moving north on the western part of Vremivka. This is to attack Vremivka. They're going to cut the road, so that's why they're moving up north. Fighting is reported at Nekushne and Starizove. So I want to zoom in a bit over in this area here to show you the significance. I did do a battlefield analysis yesterday on the Velika Novosilka. Very, very interesting video. I will link it at the end of this video as well. But the important is that the Russians are pushing to cut this road. They are moving up north. Geolocation showing that they are very, very close to it. Perhaps fire control is already there. Geolocation to the road is merely 700 meters. So they are within a kilometer to the road. So a pretty dangerous situation right now. And the Russian forces also fully captured Storozheve, and they are now putting pressure on Nekushne. As I mentioned in the battlefield analysis, direct attack towards Nekushne is going to be very, very challenging. So most likely the attack is going to go along the tree lines to attack into the soft spot between Vremivka and Nekushne. Russian forces are fighting in the region of Blahodatne. They're not going to have an easy time pushing up. I also mentioned that and explained why is the case in the battlefield analysis. So do check it out the video. And then we move on to the western flank. The western side of the Velika Novosilka sector, Russian forces are fighting at Rivnopil, Novodarivka, Temerivka, Zelenopole, and Novosilka. The regions between Rivnopil and Novodarivka is now fully secured by the Russian forces as per map by the Deep State UA, the pro-Ukrainian mapping. So that's all. This is pretty usual. This is also a very difficult sector for the Russians. The Russians have been stuck here for quite some time already. No advance, unlike the eastern flank. So that's all from this Velika Novosilka region. At the Zaporizhia front, it's continued to feel a little bit more active than usual. With fighting reported at what is it called? Zerebianki, Novoandrievka, Novodanilivka, and Bilokia. So continue to have a bit more activities than we usually very used to, because usually it's super quiet. There's like one or two attacks here and there. So now this is getting a bit more consistently active. So let's see how this play out. And we move into the Kherson front. At the Kherson front, we have fighting reported in the Dnipro direction on the 24th, whatever that's supposed to mean. And shellings reported at Mikilske, Pridniprovsky, as well as Yantarny. So a lot of repeating names in Ukraine, but just get used to it. So that's it. So anyway, that's the situation report, or the summary for the day of 1035 to 1036 for the 24th to 25th of December. So Merry Christmas, or belated Merry Christmas, or Happy Boxing Day to you guys. And I will continue to try to do more battlefield analysis. I think it's way more interesting and illuminating than just talking about the very strategic fightings, because strategically, I think most of the front lines are pretty stagnant. The most active is, of course, Pokrovsk, which I think through frontline changes report, we can cover most of this. Situation report, of course, is still the staple, is the basic monitoring of the whole war. But if you want to understand the significance in the various fronts, then battlefield analysis, we go detail. I think that is a interesting thing. So anyway, I was trying to do more because time management and energy management is the main problem right now. So anyway, and also do check out the pin comment. The DPA awards is now up to vote. come and vote, please. I hope to have a good turnout for the voting. So no, the most important, of course, is just the person of the year. So no, at least vote for that. And yeah, if not, you're gonna have people you don't like on the DPA cover, no, the banner. No, because the top 10, 15, 10 to 15, people might will appear on the DPA's banner for the entire year next year. So, yeah, vote for the people you like. And yeah, and check out the benefit analysis for the Belikan Nova Silka sector. And I'll see you guys in the next update.